You will never believe this, but on Valentine's Day in the year 2000, a 9-year-old girl named Asha Degree woke up in the middle of the night, packed her backpack, and walked out of her home in Shelby, North Carolina, during a thunderstorm, and she was terrified of storms. At exactly 2:30 a.m. on February 14, 2000, her father Harold checked on Asha and her older brother in the bedroom they shared, and both children were sound asleep in their beds. But just 4 hours later, at 6:30 a.m., when her mother Aquila went to wake them for school, Asha's bed was empty. There was no sign of forced entry, no broken windows, no struggle, nothing. She had simply vanished into the rainy night. And what makes this case truly chilling is that Asha was described by everyone who knew her as a sheltered, cautious child who was scared to death of dogs and terrified of thunderstorms. So the fact that she would voluntarily walk outside during a storm in the pitch-black darkness makes absolutely no sense. Around 4 a.m. that morning, two separate drivers on Highway 18 reported seeing a small girl wearing white walking along the side of the road in the pouring rain. And when one driver became concerned and turned his car around to check on her, Asha ran off the highway and disappeared into the woods. That was the last confirmed sighting of her alive. The next day, investigators found candy wrappers and a pencil in a tool shed near where she was last seen. And here's where it gets even stranger. Inside the shed was a hair bow that belonged to Asha, suggesting she had taken shelter there before continuing on her mysterious journey. But the question remains, where was she going and why? You will never believe what happened next. Because 18 months later, on August 3, 2001, construction workers building a new home approximately 26 miles north of Shelby unearthed Asha's backpack buried in the ground and carefully wrapped in plastic bags. Inside the backpack were her clothes, a library book called Macaliget's Pool by Dr. Seuss that she had checked out from her elementary school library, and a New Kids on the Block concert t-shirt that didn't belong to her. Someone had deliberately buried her belongings, which meant someone knew exactly what happened to Asha's Degree. For 24 years, this case went cold despite the FBI, the North Carolina State Bureau of Investigation, and hundreds of volunteers searching for answers. But then came the plot twist that nobody saw coming. In September 2024, federal agents descended on a property along Cherryville Road in Cleveland County and seized a 1964 AMC Rambler, a vintage car that matched witness descriptions of a vehicle seen near where Asha disappeared. And DNA evidence found in her buried backpack pointed investigators toward the dead man family who owned the property. Court documents revealed something absolutely horrifying, investigators now believe. Asha was murdered and her body was concealed, and in September 2024, a man came forward claiming he attended a house party in the mid-2000s where he heard Lizzie Dedmon Foster, who was 16 years old when Asha vanished, drunkenly cry out, "I killed Asha Degree," before her younger sister grabbed her and told her to shut up. The man passed a polygraph test about what he heard, and search warrants executed in February 2025 revealed suspicious text messages between members of the Dedmon family that investigators believe show they were trying to coordinate their stories and obstruct the investigation. Here's the most disturbing part. Because the Dedmon daughters were teenagers at the time of Asha's disappearance, investigators stated in court documents that adult assistance from their parents, Roy and Connie Dedmon, would have been necessary to execute and conceal the crime, meaning this wasn't just one person's actions, but potentially an entire family, covering up the murder of a 9-year-old girl for 25 years. As of today, January 2026, no arrests have been made, and Asha's body has never been found. But her mother Aquila still holds prayer vigils every year on February 14th and refuses to believe her daughter is dead, saying, "I'm not crazy enough to think that a 9-year-old can disappear into thin air without somebody knowing something." There's now a combined reward of $100,000 for information leading to an arrest and conviction in this case, and investigators say they're closer than ever to solving it. So here's the question that haunts everyone who hears this story. What could possibly make a terrified 9-year-old girl pack her backpack in the middle of the night and walk alone into a thunderstorm on a dark highway? And who convinced her that whatever waited for her out there in the rain was worth leaving her warm bed and loving family behind? 25 years later, someone out there knows the answer, and Shelby's sweetheart is still waiting to come home. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this.